Hello, everyone. I'm Glazer of the Snap Christmas Podcast, and I think I've broken the secret to Ghost Spider. The first deck we're going to talk about, of the two decks we're going to talk about today, is already on the screen. Before we get started, I need you to subscribe, I need you to like, and I need you to ring that notification bell. What we do over here on this channel is we go find you the best decks before the big creators notice them, before the big creators can figure out their win rate and make the whole ladder play them. That gives you cube equity and helps you get to infinite. I'm going to tell you this straight up. I'm so proud of this. Everyone who hangs out in our Discord in the description below, every single person who hangs out in our Discord and plays regularly last season managed to hit infinite. So proud of that. Make sure you're playing these decks, make sure you're subbed, and you can hit infinite too. Join that Discord too while you're at it. It's the Marvel Snap Zone Discord, best Discord. We are the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. All right, straight up. Nerfherder MS is a phenomenal content creator. I'm going to link his YouTube channel in the description below. He's one of our friends. He's in our little build creator group that we chill with. He figured out the secret to Ghost Spider. I had a hunch, but we know for sure, I think now. I've been playing this deck all day, and Shuri is completely incredible in Ghost Spider. Let's talk for a minute about this deck and why Nerfherder's deck is so freaking good. Okay, so with this deck, you have 1,000 different play lines, right? You've got your kitty bounce game, you've got your your dagger or vulture big game, and you've got cheap high power things like Spider-Man and Stature to play in the meantime. This makes it really hard for your opponent to figure out where your power is going to go and play around you. One of the best things your opponent can do against you right now in the meta is opponents are very, very often focused upon dropping like a 20 power Hulk. You can't usually compete with that power, even with this deck. However, this is important. That's where Shuri comes in. Shuri fundamentally says, okay, you've got an 8 power vulture in one spot thanks to the Ghost Spider combo, right? Or a really big dagger. Dagger has been incredible, but sleep on dagger. Usually better than Craven in these decks. You've managed to build up power in multiple locations. You've got a 6 to 8 power Angela. You've got this big Kitty Pride. You can do several things at that. Turn 5, you can always Black Bolt. You Shuri on 4, Black Bolt on 5, that's 14. That means some of your medium-sized stuff gets you over that Hulk. That usually works really well. It also helps to discard opponents' kitties if they spend their turn 5 doing something else. You can also, on turn 5 alone, play Shuri into Kitty. Usually that'll be like an 8 to 10 power Kitty right there. 12 power Kitty right there, who's just going to be humongous at the end of the game as a 1-drop that you can play with multiple other cards. You can Black Bolt on turn 5, and then on turn 6, you can Shuri along with Kitty and Stature on the last turn of the game. So you can double either your Stature or your Kitty for extra power. And I hear you. At this point, you're like, well, what is Ghost Spider really doing in this deck? What Ghost Spider is doing, largely on turn 4, is adding enough power so that your opponent is either giving up on a lane or you know exactly where you want to contest. You can see where your opponent is trying to play and use Ghost Spider to drag dagger over there, making your turn 4, like you can do it both on turn 4, making your turn 4 for 4 mana, you get 11 power, right? That Ghost Spider is 3, and you can get that dagger up to 8. That's crazy strong. And if you manage to play Iron Fist the turn before and get both of those off, you're getting truly crazy. Or if you had a Vulture out, you're getting an 11 power turn. If you played Vulture the turn before, you can then drop Ghost Spider, and that's an 11 power turn 4. Just think about how strong that is, 11 power on turn 4. Now, you've got a lane that you're contesting, and you've got information about how the board works. Your opponent also doesn't know how much power you're going to be able to drop at that point. This is super effective. Don't hesitate to try this deck out. I played this deck for about 3 hours earlier. Right now I'm rocking a 70% win rate with this deck. Shuri, I'm telling you, is the secret sauce. Okay, we've got another deck to show you. This isn't it for the day. The second deck we're going to show you, I have no idea who made this, but I know everyone bought High Evolutionary, right? Y'all picked up High Evolutionary. And if you bought the last 2 season passes, this is another seed deck. Shuri is nuts in this. This has a lower win rate, but still like a 0.9 cube rate from rank 60 to 100 right now in 200 games. This basically wants to use the ways to make opponents' powers negative in order to rock the opponent with giant abominations, with giant cheap abomination and cheap stature, so on. It's got Goose to help lock up locations. It's got Ghost Spider to either pull power to a surprising place at the end of the game, or B, and this is the other really cool thing Ghost Spider can do, pull something away from an anticipated Shang-Chi. This deck looks strange, right? The Ghost Spider is really the only move piece here, but because you have the ability to move something where an opponent doesn't expect, when they can't do anything about it, it is crazy strong. Now, Scorpion had been extremely overrated in the High Evolutionary decks, but I think that's starting to change as we're seeing fewer and fewer people playing Luke Cage as the meta is evolving away from just a crazy amount of High Evolutionary decks. This deck has a lot of power. It does a really good job at putting power into really, really difficult to reach spots. Using Goose, your opponent's Storm, they often feel safe. You've got Mr. Fantastic and Captain Marvel for that. And then you can just get so tall. Again, Shuri here says, okay, I know you're going to drop a 20 power Hulk here. Well, I played Black Bolt on 5, right? And my last turn is now Shuri, cheap abomination, cheap stature. Boom, go to town, win games that way. Shuri's back. Shuri's the sauce. And while Shuri has been predictable, Ghost Spider removes that predictability. It says this card that used to be the best, but now became predictable and so wasn't quite as good. Plus, less played Shang-Chi. Welcome to the new Shuri meta again. I urge you to try these decks out, especially this one, and you're going to need to subscribe to Nerfherder because he's like a hidden gem of a deck builder. I'm telling you, like 70% of my decks come from either Safety Blade or Nerfherder. They're brilliant. They're absolutely phenomenal deck builders, but you need to try these 2 decks out. You need to try out Shuri and Ghost Rider. You need to be playing Black Bolt and Stature. I know mentally when they went down 1 power, you went, oh, they're not good anymore. Nope, they're still great. Try these decks out. Tell me how they work out for you. I'm looking forward to reaching infinite. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow for another Snap Take.